series. So maybe they can bring that momentum into this against SMG. They definitely have a lineup that they thrive on. Like Momaine Dire in a win condition, DB on the puck that can make plays, you know, Wami on a really comfort hero. You got the supports that they thrive on. This is a solid draft for Army Geniuses that we've seen them do well on. And, you know, same for SMG. Like you were saying, there are definitely some comfort heroes. Nia on the Ember, KP loves the Omni Knight. You got the Slark for mid one. It is just classic heroes all around. And it's going to mean we're going to have a beautiful first game of Dota.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully no more pauses for any quick bathroom breaks or anything like that. Yeah. I want to say it was UK since he was the one that was disconnected, but hopefully he didn't have some bad sunball or anything like that. Well, you can see Roger, like, he goes and starts off with the Astral Spirit, immediately gets enchanted off, and half of his HP is gone. And that's with 2 rings of protection. Can you imagine if he didn't have them?
Yeah, and they've got the a lot of minus armor, like you were saying. So if he didn't have that ring of protection, I mean, what the Gush is for level 1, he's got the Blight Stone for 2. That would be very difficult for Roger to play into, but
even mid-one's taken a good amount.
Enchant does have a bit of a longer cooldown than what the Astral does.
That is the one positive, I suppose, the fact that, you know, it's got about the similar cooldown, but at least you get the use out of the Astral, if that makes sense, while it's going. Whereas the Enchant, the duration is relatively shorter.
Please.
For something a little different up here. So UK, he's gone for the level 1 mana burn just to make sure that, you know, they're not going to be taking too much harass on this top side of the map, maybe force them to go into a bit more of that you know, sustain style. KP, he's got the boots of speed coming out to him, going the phase boots like we were expecting, but double gauntlets of strength. See that he realizes that he's not going to have the freedom to have a large mana pool for the majority of this game. Oh, they're even able to get the Ghost as well here, so that's a ton of harass that you're able to put out. He had 2 sets of tangos out at the start here on Roger, and he's already been brought down to 2. He's a little low, yeah, doesn't have the Dark Pack just yet.
Wow, that impetus of Kenki Lim. He's going to pick up a big first blood on mid one.
Impetus plus Gush plus Blightstone plus long range equals a dead slug. So, I mean, we talked about it, right? The different ways that you can opt to build this Enchantress. You can go all into the beefy, I want to take a lot of right clicks for the rest of my team build, but you're against a slug. You never really want that to be the case. So, just going all out onto the harass, and it's working out for them.
Still see the aggression that they can dish out in that lane, especially that they have the big camp to be able to utilize here. I don't know if Roger's going to win this man fight. Lim and Wami are doing so much, especially with the extra creep. This one tries to give him some space, but got to pounce back away as they are eating through a lot of regen down bot.
Yeah, eating through a lot of regen, the extra attack speed even just from the Hellbear Smasher doing a lot of work. And we're looking a lot onto these side lanes. Mid lane, Nia, again, is doing a fantastic job against Momaine Dire. He's already got about a 200 net worth advantage over him. He was able to move over to the enemy side of the river and steal the bounty rune away. So, very nicely done.
He's doing pretty well mid as well, isn't he? 21 compared to the only 16, now 17 on the Morphling. So the fact that Ember is having such a good start right now might make it a little bit easier for him to make these rotations across the map, because they do very much lack ways to make plays and have this tempo here because they have a Omni Knight as your position 3.
I'm liking this slightly greedier start. They've already got a medallion at 420 for Lim here. This is pretty nutty. Roger, you are a dead man.
Wow. Lim's having such an incredible time. That first blood, now an extra kill. And now this is going to be really scary for mid one, actually, because usually you'd think he can trade pretty well versus the Tide, but Tide's got the Orb of Venom, so they're just full brawling out here. And If they can force mid one back into the jungle at an early time, it really will hinder how much he can get.
Even just the Twister following him around as well from the old Wild Wing Ripper. He's used it now, so it's going to be... he's going to die, unfortunately, before the end of it all. Not too bad of a... oh, just going down, actually. I wonder if they saw that Observer Ward placed. Because that was actually a really clever ward by SMG there. Make sure they denied away another hard camp. Roger, you'll get it.
Top going at the moment. It's really just been the bot lane with all the action.
There's that value point though in the degen aura. They're able to chase down you, but they don't really care all that much.
Damn, that's so much damage with the purification. Alpha and KP able to find their first kill for SMG up top. Makes them on the board here for game one.
Just 1 point. That's all you need in the degen aura. Thanks. I always hate seeing like really good abilities just not get skilled at all. And that's not to say degen aura is a good ability. I think it's kind of trash. But in this lane, it's pretty good. Because the Nyx Assassin, at least until you're level 6, you don't have a guaranteed way to get away. Nia, it's the DD. He's got R2 sitting right next to him. They could honestly just go for a kill on you here.
Mid with the Remnant. A bit awkward with the UK Nyx Assassin nearby. You've always got to be wary of like a spike carapace into a turn from like a TP from Army Geniuses. Especially once Puck kicks level 6 as well. They will have the reactionary play of a TP from DB.
Gotcha.
And they've changed tact with their strategy a little bit here, KP. He's building into the hood as a first item. He was going the phase boots previously, but again, just in standard KP style, he needs to be able to tank up against a lot of this early pressure. I feel like maybe they thought this bot lane was going to go a bit better, but I can't see how. You know, this was always going to be an Army Geniuses winning lane. Yes, the Slark has a good time against the Tide Hunter in a vacuum, but not when you got that Enchantress alongside you.
Yeah, the Enchantress is such an incredibly strong laner, isn't she? She can really turn a lane around from what you expect to be.
Careful.
It's got some ravage potential if there are reinforcements, but a perfect use of the chain lockdown, and no extra heroes come regardless. So they get a nice kill in the Tide Hunter, recognizing Enchantress wasn't there to be able to provide some protection.
Yeah, and getting a little bit unlucky with these D-wards as well here, with Liv just placing down the Observer Ward previously, got instantly D-warded, and now the sentry that he's put down here, where he was thinking, well, they had to have known that I wasn't in the area to be able to make that rotation, but it's just going to come up short from that Observer Ward to the top of the stairs. I haven't really talked much about DB. He's having a great time on this top side.
Yeah, that is top of the net worth. What do you think the item build's going to be here for the Puck one? We even say, like, we know DB's playing the safe lane, but how do you word that? Because we know it's really the Morphling's going to be the win condition one this game. Do you call him a Puck 2, even though he's in the safe lane?
He is an active one. You know, you see the likes of, honestly, a Slark can even fulfill that kind of role. Not this game, but, you know, we see the Rickies, we see the Pucks, the Slarks, we see the, you know, Liquid does Mickey Void Spirit at the position 1 role sometimes. Or the safe lane space creating role.
The active one. Oh, okay. So a very early Quid gonna get picked up here from the Omni Knight. I mean, it's UK. Chase down, Carapace will give him some space, but a great Echo Stomp before the timing. I get the deny.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
At least he's going for the try there here from UK, but he's gonna get brought down. Nice movement from SMG, just getting a kill across the map. And you know, right now their lanes aren't too pressured, so they're able to make a maneuver like that just to get a quick support. But we have seen in previous games, mid one throughout the laning stages done a lot better kill wise. I mean, he's still played very well in that lane. He's third in net worth. He's got 1 perma agi, but I know when we saw him play versus South, though, felt like he had 4 or 5 perma agi, you know, by like the 12-minute mark.
And with DB here, you asked me about his item build. He has ended up going into the Witchblade, which I was kind of thinking a little bit, but it's kind of a rough situation, right? The Witchblade gives you some scaling potential because it's always going to be based off your intelligence, which, you know, is going to grow as the game goes on, which is great. It's also a good way to still be doing damage, of course, in addition to your spells during any sort of Guardian Angel or anything like that. So it's good. And we've seen how good that Rogi has been on his Echo Stock saves in previous series, so I think not wanting to go for that first item Blink Dagger, just in case, you know, again, the amazing support play comes out from SMG, which nullifies the effectiveness of 2,000.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We have a fine UK there. Very nicely done with Arfu. He's got 3 points in the Inkswan. We're going to be able to see these two get aggressive super early on with how Arfu's put a couple more points up in the stun there. So already we're showing the potential of this combo.
Oh no.
Not again.
Oh no. It's UK that said it as well. Hopefully our man's alright. I'm a little surprised at how fantastic laning stage for the Enchantress, but it feels like the last 6 minutes, nothing's happened. You know, he's been walking around, he's been trying to farm up a little bit extra for himself, but I mean, that's not what your skill build has prioritized towards. You know, he's going into that hood for himself, but you've got more movement speed than anyone on SMG. You've got the enchant, which is now level 3, so it's going to have a much lower cooldown, longer duration against Dire. You should be able to get away still. But, you know, Ember Spirit won't have that Flame Guard if you use it onto him. You can't use the Astral onto it. You can get away from any sort of Inkswell counter initiate. So I think just being a little bit too passive right now on them. Let's see if they're trying to turn that around. As we can see, Rogi, he's down here solo, farming away, but again, that Observe Ward, maximum value out of it, and he's able to get out of dodge.
Is DB maybe waiting for the Witchblade to be completed, and then he's going to look to get a lot more aggressive on the map, or should he still be making maneuvers?
Sure, but 5 minutes in, when you're an Enchantress that's had an insane start to the game, I don't think you need to wait an extra 6-7 minutes to make something happen.
Yeah, we're saying that it was quite the early medallion getting picked up from Lim, and the lanes kind of collapsed from there. They didn't actually use it to their advantage to find maybe a secondary kill or third one after that.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe around the 5-minute mark they could do what they're doing just now, you know, using the siege creep to put a little bit of pressure onto the tower, drag someone away from their lane. You know, we saw Nia, he's had, again, a very good start to the game, even though Mamang Dire, he's doing a good job as well. But it could have been crushed mid lane, for example, if there was a bit more pressure on this bottom side of the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Rune of double damage.
In all, a very passive game here. The start for last series of week 5. 1,000 net worth lead for Army Geniuses, and we do see the cores are farming very nice though. But Radiant, they're keeping up with them. We didn't see KP go for the minus, so I guess you're a little happy about that. And he's even making sure he's got the Solar Crest feed up, so no Midas Omni this game.
I like it. Don't get greedy. You are an Omni Knight. You are not the carry this game. You know, levels are nice, but I feel like once you get that level 10 or so, you're very happy.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Going to be a free tower here from Mamang Dire down bottom. Looks like Radiant aren't going to mount a defense. Instead, they're looking to try and make a formation up top and go for a trade in the tier 1 towers. But Dire, they've got everything available if they want to take a ball.
They do. Limp's
Minus Enchantress now. Okay, never mind.
Into my collection.
See, that's very unfortunate because they could have, like, they used the Enchantress to bait a little bit there. Mamang Dire, he has the Illusion Rune bottled up, so even though he hasn't finished up his Manta style, he could have joined and made a real good effort at that tower defense and probably won it, to be honest, if the Enchantress was still around. But that's the downside of not going that beefier build with a Nature's Attendance build up.
Have you seen Nia's item build?
Oh.
UK should actually going to commit the Ravage. They need to get rid of the Embrace. But the fact that he has to turn and deal with that Phantom allows mid one to close the distance. Now we've got a lot of essence to feed off Wommy. Just swinging over. The SMG, they're in really fast mid. A coil on 4, but where's the follow with the Ravage on cooldown? The main Dire is losing a lot of mana as well. Nice Ace while mid one still continuing to honey. Doesn't have the Shadow Dance available, but with 20 stolen essence, he feels ever so safe to dive under that tower. I didn't think about chasing forward for DB. Gets the pounce, or just at the last second. But Nia's got the remnants ready and available to charge off and go in the dark. Nia finds a killing spree, and then on a great use of the Impale, but they're still going to find the Inkswar stun as UK protected thanks to invisibility. But all in all, SMG, they bring the goons, and the goons show up to an incredible fight.
Again, and that was, they didn't even need a Guardian Angel. KP still doesn't have it skilled up. He's just going full into buffing up the rest of his team. Grace, such a low cooldown, it makes you that much tankier as well. Where mid one, he was happy to just quickly break that Dream Coil.
Dire Specters are
Level 1, so he was stunned for like 0.9 seconds.
That's what a goal getting
tower is under attack.
brought into the pockets here of Radiance. Slark just took over the top of the net worth, and that was as soon as he picked up this Fusel Blade, and he's already got 1200 gold in the bank as well for mid one Slark.
So again, around this this catapult timing, I'm sure they're going to be trying to put a bit more pressure onto the mid lane, but they're somewhat split right now on Army Geniuses. Wommy has the TP, but it's still going to be 40 seconds until that Ravage is available. And yeah, and that's the mid lane. No more pressure there. Mangdai, he's farming on this bottom side. Could potentially catch him out here.
Essence now, thanks to Morphling having full strength. Can he get the waveform away? Does it the last second. Dio. Fu. On point this game. 3-0 and 5 for your Grimstroke. And that is another big kill on Mangdai's Morphling.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's the win condition. He's the one that you got to take down. You can see they just make a beeline towards that mid lane as soon as they do it. They've still been able to keep this this siege creep alive by manipulating the lane very well. Again, KP is doing a very good job at making sure that the lanes are just how they would like. Very hard to kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
KP's having a pretty good game as well. Like, of course, he's always going to be around the bottom of the pack of cores, considering he can't keep up as much in farm. But he's got some incredible items here to help with their utility. Hood's just going to make sure he can at least get either the Purification or Heavenly Grace off if he gets jumped. But then the Solar Crest is really going to enable the Slark and also give them Roche taking potential, which is something they're lacking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how are you supposed to kill him? You can't do magic damage to him. You can't stun him. You can't do physical damage now with this extra armor coming out. They must be able to catch out the puck here.
The slight damage is through the roof. Ravage gonna clip a couple heroes. Nia's out of mana. He does have bottle charges along with some remnants of work available here. There's one sweeping on down from top, so Army Geniuses have to be careful how long they stick around, especially with the Ravage on cooldown.
They do, and I feel like they were kind of in two minds there. DB, he was standing around at that tier 2 tower for a solid 10-15 seconds on basically no HP, so he's forced to go all the way back. They're trying to catch them out in a position where they can get some sort of pincer mood off, but SMG, they're sticking together. They're making sure that that's not going to happen.
Oh, nice TP from DB. Gets rid of the mid-creep wave. That's really the tower that SMG want. They might just tank up the tower instead, so then he's already low enough that mid one doesn't really give a damn, but the thought is there from the park.
I love this. A Slark pos one that buys his own wards. Do it! It's free money! Why wouldn't you?
All ones will break.
Mid one. He had that pounce and he would have had a sentry.
He still has
He's
a
hunting though, like he does not give a damn. He goes so strong with KP behind him and he's got big timing right now. Especially now with the Ravage on cooldown. Mid one, looking over to Wommy. The tanky tide is exactly what the Slark wants to feast on. If he can stack up the essence, he's here in the tree line. The tide is going to be the second hero to fall here for Army Geniuses.
This is very keen by you that they're trying to get a kill here onto the Ember Spirit. You know they're all around, but this is an all or nothing play.
Finally, the Guardian Angel's going to come through, and Squirrel does nothing. Mid-one's got so many stacks right now. Trying to get the Drawn to wait. No, the leash is still going to last a long enough duration. Mid-one. Wow. The strength tread saving life there.
Just able to get away. It's those kind of sink or swim sort of plays that unfortunately it feels like Army Geniuses. They're not at the bottom of the ocean just yet, but that's already 6 permanent Agi stacks given over to the Slark, and he's having a fantastic early game. Did he go the S&Y? Yes, he did. So you've already got the Heavenly Grace to make sure you can't stun him up. He's just going to continuously run at you, and I don't think you could think of a better mid-one style hero other than maybe the Weaver for him to play with his crazy, just fanatical style.
We do see the aggression that mid-one's pushing out. He's just so aware of the timings in a game of Dota. He can sense when they're strong, sense when they're weak, and when they have to farm, and he's been all up in the grill right now of Army Geniuses, who only had 2 kills this game, and that was all from the laning stage. It feels like they haven't got a kill for at least 15 minutes as they get the Nyx Assassin as well, so Army Geniuses tailing off in a kill count, but they are still keeping up a little bit in the net worth department.
Now, I don't want to blame the bathroom problems, but this Nyx is 0-7-0, and I feel like most of that is just he's not playing quite close enough to his team. You could see the DB Mamang Dyer, they were both there at that team fight, but they were just trying to hope for someone to be soloed, hope for a simple pickoff, but it never seems to be the case. I mean, every single time a core is out farming in the lane, unless maybe it's KP, they've got someone to back them up. You know, occasionally they'll leave someone like Arfu on this bottom side like they just did, so he can shove out the wave a little bit, but it's not going to be solo. Or even getting this D-Ward off. They got some kind of sixth sense for sure.
What do you think the thought process is here for Wami going for the Aghanim's as his second item? Never mind. Questioning the playstyle of the pop, hoping he was going to get aggressive early. Now that he's trying to play across the map, it's costing him a couple of kills, and into Roche they go, and they should be able to take it.
Awesome Roche. I mean, he's got the Orbit Corrosion, not using it just yet on Nia, he's just trying to, there he goes. He's just trying to clean out the wave. I mean, if you could do multiple things at once, why not? More members of Army Geniuses all grouped up, but they're not really in a position to do much of anything without this puck. I think it's just a snowball effect, right? Like, for me, Enchantress not doing something with such an insane start to the game is what's led to this point. I think that might seem a little bit extreme, but you think about who has been the linchpin of all of these aggressive moves for them. It's been mid-one. You know, they got the first blood onto him, but nothing since then.
For SMG, it's going to be a free one. It looks like at the last second, but they weren't able to formulate a response here. Do you have the Aghanim's pick up for Wami, trying to look E-Blade on the Morphling. They're going to smoke up. Morphling with a Ravage as well. Aghanim with your ass split off. SMG will rip them apart one after another. As they lose 4, they've got vision of the retreating Enchantress as well. He is out of remnants. But what a team fight. You'd usually think of a Ravage Coil, the one that's more favored in a team fight. But the Earth Splitters are on point from Roger. And he's still getting the Enchantress. He has got the backup.
Middle tower is under
I think they might be able to get away, but wow, what a fight.
Roger again has just been absolutely nuts with his echo stops, being able to lock so many people in position for so long that they get that combination off with the X-Well, with the Earth Splitter. And, you know, mid-one, he's crazy right now. You know, he's got the Solar Crest, he's got the Heavenly Grace. They're dragging more creeps to him. They're like, oh, you want to farm? Here you go. He's got the Cloak, he's got the Diffusal Blade, he's got the S&Y. There is legitimately no reason for him to ever back off from any kind of engagements, at least while he's got this Aegis available. They're just going to keep going and going and going. Could they even find the puck?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe. He is hunting. He's going to get the wrong way, unfortunately. Did one just pick up the cloak? When did he get this? I'm trying to... Oh,
Right afterwards.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
like this. SMG. Hot pursuit. The stalkers of the night here. Don't know if DB. Still got vision. Nice slide from Neo, man. This is a tricky killers. Now the reinforcements have come. DB is wasted a lot of their time here, and it's actually going to cost Arthur his life. Finally, it's took them almost 20 minutes here for Army Geniuses to get another kill. They're going to try and look to deal with Neo. The silence and the control is there. But find a second in such a short duration.
What
But
doesn't
Midone is
care?
not going to punish. As long as he's got KP in his back pocket, that's all the Slark needs. And looking at the support as well. Instantly brought down thanks to the shotgun build from the main Dire, but mid-one will find a tanky target, hone onto him, and just start to feed away the essence. He is away from the Omni Knight. They really need to kill KP first before dealing with mid-one. He's got the ages, and KP can come forward at the last second just to protect mid-one, and we see that now. Solar Crest's out, mid-one losing a lot of mana, losing a lot of health as well. The shotgun just gets back to safety, and KP's there once again. They didn't kill the Omni Knight, and it's going to cost them not killing off the Slark, and they're still looking for more. As mid-one pounds forward, the Ghost on Inkswell just there. Mid-one, he wants more Agi, and he's going to find it. Up to 11 perma now.
This middle tower is under attack.
Oh, he's going for more. He doesn't have the sentry ward. It's backpacked this time, so they're not going to be able to catch out that next assassin. But remember when we were talking in that previous series where I saw a bristleback and I was like, the strategy against a bristleback, don't kill the bristleback. You just kill everything else. Well, it's the same this time around. There's so many heroes that just enable this Slark that they've gone into not self-beneficial items. You know, these are all things that aren't going to save yourself. You know, sure, the Omni Knight's still hard to kill, but you saw how quickly that Grip Stroke died. You saw how quickly the Elder Titan died. I feel like that's going to be the game plan for him. Pick off everyone else, and you know, KP, he might need to be the third or the fourth that goes down, but Slark should be the last in every single team fight.
Yeah, at the moment they're just not able to find the Slark at the last, unfortunately. The target prioritization, unfortunately, a little bit lacking here for Army Geniuses.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They got the ultimates up.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Quite
under
close to
attack.
some items, and leading with this, 50 seconds left of the ages, they should look to try and take a tier 3 with it.
He's holding on to a lot of money here. Finally buys up the Dagon,
He shot the Knicks on godlike right now. UK's got no buyback here for this high ground defense, and they might just have to give up the melee.
I think they will. Mamang Dai, he's waiting to TP back until he's got that BKB gold, but he's just about a wave short. He'll be farming it now, but it's going to be a little bit too late. Oh, they're even TPing down before a Group Stroke's coming.
Radiant's bottom tower
This
is
could be
under
good.
attack.
Group Stroke's not there.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
See if you're aware of this though. Oh, another great Echo Storm. Time and time again, Logi's just so on point. And I wonder, like we're seeing right now, everyone's going in on dive. They've got a blink on pop, but the positioning from SMG is just so on point. Once they get a great formation out with the Omnifire in the backline, the ET as well to counter initiate, it's just you can't really blow it with the Slark with how tanky he is. He's got 2600 health, status resistance with the Sunjin Yash shot. You can give them the Omni Knight buffs as well. I just really struggle to see it. Yeah, it's just like
Grim Stroke's got the Ag Shard. Like, you are not killing this Slark unless you burst him 100 to 0.
No, look at the positioning on me. Time and time again, straight onto the mid one. The first one is going to fly. The Maid Dive's got the BKB, but now they're going to get loose up on the higher gun with duration here. They're going to try and catch on. It's a great call. The Rabbit's going to fly as well. Catches 3. They've still got the Omni Knight. It doesn't matter. Post up in. They're going to look to turn to the side after no, that's it. They tap it out. SMG just steamroll Army Geniuses in this damn war.
fantastic team play coming out for SNG, but again, it was just illogical, in my opinion, to want to go for the slug. It sucks that he's going to get off a ton of essence shift stacks, but I feel like they've got the lineup to be able to kite him around at least a little bit. You know, you've got the Vendetta, you've got the Enchantress that's going to be a little bit harder to kill. We've seen Puck's probably the most mobile hero in the game. Same sort of thing with a Morphling with that waveform, but they just seem so focused on the mid one.